Hello and welcome to another Nikomedia tutorial. First of all, sorry for the delay. I had lately a lot of different doctor's appointments and something else, and nothing serious, just, yeah, in my age, you know. And yeah, now everything so far is done. And yeah, let's continue with tutorials. Today we will recreate this one here. And yeah, I've planned to make a Patreon only tutorial out of this one, but now I did long and nothing, so I thought let's make a tutorial for everyone, and so we will do this for everyone. Yeah. Then we will use here the Octane render because in physical render it's almost impossible to get something like this. You can get the result, but not without a post worker. So I think this is, yeah, I showed some tutorials where you can do this glow effect, this bloom effect with physical render. So if you want to make this with physical render, you can watch these tutorials. But as I said, I don't think that we will get this in with physical render alone. So let's do. I will the tutorial the project files are already online for download for patrons, but for Octane render, of course. If you really need a kind of physical render the thing, please let me know in the comments or on patrons in the comments. Uh, if you want that physical render file, so I will make one, but not a tutorial about it. I just will upload a file for physical render and will do my best so we get something like this result here. But as I said, if we get this result, it will be a very long render time. So I don't think that it will be that it makes fun. So anyways, so let's start. First of all, we start with some poles cloned in radial mode and blah blah blah. Let's do it. Okay, good. Let's make first this pole here with this edge here, you see. Okay, so I start here with a simple line. Line spline. So this is, I have here my line spline. This is nothing else but a straight helix. Well, let's make it from scratch. So I make a helix. This is not a helix. Make a helix, bring it on the floor, so, and to make a straight line of this, just go with the start and end radius to 0, and we have a straight line here. So let's go in the front view. So I don't need a lot of subdivisions, and I don't need here subdivisions. So this should be fine so far. Let's make this make it C for editable. So click C on the keyboard, make it editable. Let's see in point mode what we get. Okay, we get a line with these 4 points. Perfect. We need nothing else. So what I do now is I take these 2 points here and drag it a little to the. First of all, I will make here. I will make the spline here the linear non. So bring this to a little to the side, 10 centimeters should be fine. And then I select these 2 points, and I want this size of these 2 points here, I go to 0 so that they are next to each other. See? Okay, perfect. Now I want here a rounding, of course. So I want round corners here. We could do this with simple, we select them, right click, chamfer, and then you see we get this, but okay, this is not round because we are here on none, so we have to go to the immediate points and let's say uniform. And here you can tell how many you want, but this looks so far nice. But if you once did this, oops, if you once have this, you never can change this anymore. So what I did is I made a capsule which does this chamfer thing here. So I have helix, And here in my favorites, I have made a Spline Chamfer capsule. This patrons can download this capsule, and if you download it, you will get a project file. So let's make a new project file. I have some problems here with my Cinema 4D. Sometimes it reacts a little slow, but anyways, what you will get is a project file like this. You have the Chamfer, a Spline Chamfer inside, and to save it wherever you want, just drag it in your asset browser wherever you want. So I have here my little helpers, you see, and here I have capsules, and here is my Spline Chamfer, and it's in the favorites because I clicked on this little heart here, so it is in the favorites. So you can make your own new category here under create category and make your helpers or something else. So this is the file you will get. So nope. Or if you download the project file as a Patron, you have it inside here in the project file as well. So now I'd simply drag the Spline Chamfer under my spline here, and you see immediately that does something here. And I can change here. 17 is too high here, but I can change whatever I want, and I can change it to any time. So when I did it once, so that's in the object mode, and if you changed it once, so click somewhere, but if I want it again, let's say I want it bigger, so smaller, we can change it however we want. So something like this should be fine. Okay, and the next step is we clone this helix here. So let's go to the helix. I select it and hold my Alt key and click on the cloner. So the cloner becomes a parent of the helix. And yeah, this is when you hold your Alt key and click on the generator, it will become automatically a parent. If you make a deformer or something else, you just hold your Shift key and click. So then it will be a child. So let's go in the cloner and make a radial clone. Make it a little bigger, so and give it more. And let's say for the moment 20. I see it goes in the wrong direction for me here, that is wave here. So let's go to -100 here. And now, yeah, now it's the correct direction. Okay. And that's it for now. And now let's make a sweep of this, out of this. So for a sweep, we need a path spline and a profile spline. The path spline will be the cloner. So we put the cloner in a connect object. I have it here in my toolbar, but you find it here as well. Connect. And I want to connect as a parent. So I hold my Alt key on the keyboard and click on it. And you see it becomes parent. And this is now my path for the sweep. Now I need a profile, and this should be a circle, quite small, a centimeter. Don't need so many subdivisions here. And this is our profile spline. So for the profile spline, I click on it and make a sweep. So hold my Alt key, sweep, and the connect I drag under it. So I have now my spline here, which looks quite nice. Let's make some round caps here. So we go to the caps and make 0.5 or so. Yeah, perfect. Nice, and let's save this. This is rotating lights tutorial. Boing. Okay. So what we want here is, of course, we want that the poles move up and down a little bit. So to do so, we go to our cloner and we bring in a plane effector. And because we select the cloner before, then to the plane effector. Now, because we selected the cloner, the effector is already in the effector step here. If not, just drag it in. So the plane effector should affect the position Y. So you see, okay. I'll go here to about -50. So. And we will restrict this with a field. And here we use a random field. I don't want to see this here. And the random field here should be quite big, so I would say 500 or so. And a generation speed of 50, and a loop period of 200 frames here. The loop period of 200 frames. Save it, and let's play it. So you see now they move up and down a little bit. You can do this however you want. You can make it bigger here, go to -100 or -200 or whatever you want. But a slight movement, I think it's very nice here. So now we need the other poles here where the light is going up and down, left and right or something else. So for this we make a simple cylinder. Whoop. Doesn't matter. So no, this is not a cylinder. This is a cylinder. Here I want the same radius like on the sweep. So we had 2 here, a height of 100. We don't need any height segments. 16 should be fine. And we have our cylinder here. Now I want to clone this cylinder on this clone. So we have on each clone one of these cylinders. So I go to my cylinder, make a new cloner, hold my Alt key, check. The cloner will be cloned on an object, and the object will be this cloner here. Name this cloner poles, so that we know. Okay, so cloner and cloner poles. This looks a little weird because we are here on count, and I don't want to go on count. We could go on count on 1 here. Yeah, this would work as well. We could try the axis. Axis works as well, but with the axis I cannot make an offset. I could go with the transform and bring this up here. Yeah, that's not so bad. Let's go here to 90 degrees for now. And with the axis, I think it's a better idea. Or we could do it here with the count as well. And let's try the count with just 1. So go to the feedback. And here I can go with the offset up here, you see? Yeah, I think this is nicer. I make it like this, and I don't want to loop it. So when I go 200, I'm exactly on the top of this one, but I don't want to be on top. I want to be a little down, so I could something like that. And of course, we have to go outside here a little bit. This we do with the transform on the X in the minus direction, I think, yeah. You see? So this is fine so far. But it looks boring if we just have this one and this one, so there is no connection between these things. And in the original one, you see, I have here the connection between these two things. And let's do this one here. For this, we delete the cloner for the moment. Not delete it, deactivate it. And we can hide this one here. Let's go to our cylinder. Give the cylinder a little fillet here. So in the caps, fillet, we had 0.5 here. Oh, not here with 3.5. So this is the same like on the sweep. Perfect. And now I simply make my cylinder editable. So C on the keyboard, chuck, and we have editable. Now I go in the edge mode, and with UV, this is a ring selection, I select all these edges here. This ring selection. And with MM, I can cut them in half. So hit twice the M key, MM. You see here we have a new cut, and this cut we need. I go again the edge mode, UL for loop selection, and I select this cut here. And with MS, I want to bevel this cut. MS. and I bevel this up a little bit. So say it's 3 centimeters. Fine here. Okay. And now I want to make a polygon selection out of this edge selection. So I can hold the control key and go to the polygon selection here. You see. Now it's a polygon selection. And I want to split this selection out of the cylinder. So with UP, you get split. You find everything when you make a right click. You have UP here. This is split, you see. And so we have this one here. This one is just this guy now. And this will be the connector here. So to make this now usable, we need some thickness on this one. And for the thickness, we could use a cloth surface, or we could select it and extrude it and everything, but we have a new generator in R23.2, and this is the thicken generator here. It should be inside here, but for me it's not here, but I dragged it just in my toolbar. You will find everything when you don't know where it is. You find it with the shortcut Shift C, and when you go with Shift C, you simply write in what you search. So thicken is thicken. You see, it's already here. And now, if you want it in the toolbar like me, you can just drag it in the toolbar. You see? But I have it already in the toolbar. And when you do so, and you drag it in your toolbar, don't forget then you go to the layouts and save layouts, a startup layout or whatever you want. So, okay, we have the thicken. So I go to my thing here. And I hold my Alt key. This is a generator, so it will be a parent. And you see it makes thicken. I need here 1.5, I think is everything. And what here is a difference between the thicken and the extrude or cloth. The extrude normally, or the cloth, works just in one direction, from the inside to the outside in the Z direction. The thicken works, it works in the same amount in both directions, so 0.7.5 centimeter in outside and inside. So but here with the position you can tell, go to the inside or go to the outside. In my case I want it on the outside. And if you have some weird results, so you can go to the advanced tab and try to resolve the blah blah, optimize it. But in this case, for this easy thing, it works perfect like this. If you want to know more about the new things of 2023.2, the new generators, nodes, whatever, I would recommend to you to watch the tutorial from Chris Schmidt from Rocket Lasso. He made a very useful tutorial about the new things in 2023.2. Okay, good. So we have this one now. And what I want now is a cylinder. I want the cylinder. Cheaper scale, I want it nice. So, yeah, this size of our thing here. So, and I want it. Oops, I want it in the X direction. Okay. I don't need any subdivisions here. Make this smaller. So break it to the side here. I want to bring them together here. So this is okay so far, but let's make it a little bigger here. So make the radius a little bigger. Yeah, this could work here. Go to the cylinder. Let's see. Okay, we make a radius of 5, height of 2. Fine. Okay, now we'll bring this together. And we could do this easily, of course, with the volume builder and something like this. But for this, we can use a simple pool as well. So I'll show you how to work with the pool here. And this is, we take the thicken in a pool. So I select thicken, Alt key, pool, bring in the cylinder as well. And we get something like this. You see it's cut out here. This is because the pool is set to A subtract B. but I want to make it union. So this should be one thing. And what's important here is tell it create a single object. That's important here. So we have this now. And this is now one object. When we go inside here, you see it's cut out and it's nicely one object. But we can not put this in a subdivision surface. It would look like this. Yeah, maybe you want it like this. Why not? It's interesting shape. I want to bevel this before. So I go to the bool and bring the bool into a null object, IG. So everything what I bring under the null object now will be affected by that by the bevel. So I can select my null, go to the deformer, hold my shift key because now I want it as a child. And I have the bevel in here. The bevel is too high here, 0.1. See, we have everywhere a bevel here. But I go to my cylinder here and drag it maybe a little down. So, but this should work so far. Let's see what we get now when we put it in a subdivision surface. Now it looks much better here. And NA, I see, okay, that works so far. Let's make it a little smoother. Back here one more. NV. Let's see how this looks. I do not really like this one. Bevel is okay here. I wonder about this one here. Let's save the bevel. Yeah, let's make the bevel later. Take the bool and I bring the bool in a remesher. I will remesh this whole thing now. So we have the remesher in here. I have the remesher also in my toolbar here. So I bring the bool in the remesher. It should be apparent, so Alt key. Okay. Remesher, then yeah, give me 500%. You see, we get a quite nice mesh here. We can symmetry this time, symmetry in this direction. And that looks now really nice. We have just quads everywhere. We can still go down here and see. Let's go first. Yeah, that looks better for me. And now we can bring the bevel or the remesher. Now bevel. Yeah, that looks now much better. And go. Yeah, this is now right. Okay. And when I bring this in the subdivision surface now, NA, that looks great. But now you see we have these whole edges here. We see this. This is because we don't, because of the phone tag. We have no phone tag on this now. So let's go to the remesher, right click, and phone tag should be under the render text, I think. No, maybe under material text. Where is the phone tag? Other tags. You see, I don't find the phone here, but no problem. I go to my remesher, Shift C, type in phone, and I see, here is the phone tag. Double click it, and now I have a phone tag on it, and now you see the edges are gone. So when I see, when I delete the phone tag, we have the edges. You see, and with the phone tag. Okay, nice. So now we have here a really nice object. This NB bring back the lines, and when it was NI, I can show only the isopalms. You see, and we have a very good mesh here. Okay, Save it. And this should, of course, now match perfect. So I go to my remesher. I simply hit make a current state to object. I have it here. And I right click here is the same, and here current state to object. I have the remesher, so I can delete this remesh here. Can bring the bevel under the remesher now and delete the null. And we have exactly the same. And we, okay. NB or NH brings back the normal. NH. So okay, this is the subdivision. Maybe the two subdivisions will be okay here. Okay, now bring back the cylinder. The cylinder, of course, fits now. Should fit exactly into here. Yeah, the cylinder is not round enough. You see, but we could put it in the subdivision surface as well. Let's do this. Go to the cylinder. We can do one thing. We can bring this in. Bring the remesher and the cylinder in the null object. Alt G. And so now everything in the null object will be in the subdivision surface, and so now it matches here everything. Perfect. Good. But what I don't like is this thing. Yeah, of course. I want here what's. So I go to my cylinder here. And I delete. So I go to polygon mode. And I delete these polygons here. And MD is close hole. MD, close polygon hole. And here I want a grid. And that makes just quads now here. And this should look better for, yeah, that looks much better now with the subdivision surface. Let's do the same on the other side. Polygon mode. Zips, delete. MD. Grid mode is on. Check. Okay, perfect. Save it. Now let's see how this looks when we have activated everything. So I bring this back. Clone. Perfect, but we have to go further away here. It's transforming X. Okay, let's bring it a little. So now you can make now even could make on the backside here something that so it looks that a nail is through or something like a bolt through, but this is okay for now. So close we don't see it. Okay, so now I deactivate for now the subdivision surface. I don't need it. Ah, yeah, this is another script what I made. You can download on Patron as well. The patrons can download the script. This is a very simple thing. It's just it activates or deactivates every subdivision surface you have in your scene. So this is just that you can work faster, and before you render, you activate everything, and that's it. So but you can still do it here as well. So, but you can do it here. This is for all subdivisions in the scene. Okay, so that's nice. And they should now stay in the same height like the poles. So when we replay, that works. The next step here is we want to rotate this thing. So this is quite easy. We go to our cloner here. And with the cloner selected, we use another plane effector. Doesn't matter where in the scene the plane effector is. I just want it close to the cloner I used for it. So for plane rotation. Okay. And here I say I want to select this one here. Yep, this is the correct one. Make it for these many rotations here. Can make how many you want. We can see it later, and we control this with a field again with a random field. And this random field should be quite big. So see, 500 I think was okay, with a speed of 50 and a loop period of 200 frames, and hit play. And you see we get this nice movement here. I need here a circle movement, a cycle, not circle. And if you don't like the movement here, you can play with the seed, so you get always a different seed. Or if you want more motion into that, it looks nice. And this loops perfect. So if you want more motion, simply go to the parameter and go higher with you, go to 3600 or whatever you want. So you will get, let's try it, 3600. And if you hit play now, you see you get much more movement here. Okay. So the next step is we need a light which goes up and down, up and down. So to do so, we need a light, and for the light I make a simple sphere, make it quite small, but bigger than the thing, so that we see it for now. And we clone this one now on this cloner. So this is, I may put this in a cloner. Lights. And let's name this cloner here, the cloner cylinder. So the cloner lights should be cloned on the cloner cylinder. So object, cloner cylinder. Let's see what it does. It does something. Let's deactivate the, activate the subdivision. Yeah, now I see this is not exactly what we want. So what I do now is I go to the cloner here and say not on the surface, I want to do it in the axis. So now we have exactly one clone here, which is perfect. But I'm not sure why it goes away when I put it in the, let's put the subdivision surface in a connect. Yeah, now it works. Okay. Save it. Good. Okay. And now we want to bring this up and down. And this is quite easy. We go to the cloner lights and we need an effector. And now we need the formula effector here. Okay, we have something. But I don't want the formula effector to go to the scale. I just want it in the position, but in the position Y. Why do I have now two spheres here? Let's see. I want to go, this is, one side is 50, so I want to go, let's say 45. Okay, we have, it is too fast. Let's go to the effector. Here in the variables, I go to the 0.5. Okay, I'm not sure why I do have two spheres now in here, but it doesn't matter. This we bring a bright light material on it, so we want to see exactly the form, the shape of this. And we make this smaller, so we have here, let's do 2 centimeters. This is exactly the end. Let's make it even smaller. So 1.8 or so. Okay. Nice. And it's a little weird why we get 2 of them. But as I said, it doesn't matter. This is all we have to do here. So that everything should work fine. Oh, maybe we can go ahead. Where is my formula effect? And parameter, let's go to 40. Yeah. Good. The animation is done here. So the next thing we need is a floor, of course. But I wonder why I have to. I have to think about it why I have 2 spheres here with the formula effect. Well, as I said, it doesn't matter because of the light and the bloom later on. We want to see a bit, are there 2 or 1, because they are on the same. That will be totally fine. Good. Let's make the floor. For the floor, I need some holes in the floor where the poles are in. So that means I will copy the poles cloner here. Control, drag it out. Delete here everything. And I don't need the vectors in here. I don't need any transformers. There is 0, that's fine. So, and I want to clone some circles. So we know so far that the sweep is 2 in the radius. So we bring this on the floor and make a radius of 2.5 or so. And if we drag this now in the cloner, we have on each position of a pole, we have this circle. And this is exactly what I want. Good. Let's delete, not hide this. Don't want to see the effectors. So the next step is I want another circle, but a big one. So circle, bring it on the floor, make it. So I see the cloner. This cloner ball should be a spline, one spline. So I bring it in a connect object and bring it in a spline mask. So for this, I take the connect, Alt on the keyboard, spline mask. And I drag this as well in the spline mask. But you see, okay, we have some problem here. This is not really a problem. We go to the spline mask and say we want it along the y-axis. And we want here an OR. So now they are together. And when I now extrude this spline mask, so go here to the extrude. You see, we have here the holes and this one. This is exactly what I want. Yeah, that's fine. So I can make this guy as big as I want, so that it fills the whole scene later on. And here I want some rounding. Let's go to the extrude caps. And here, let's see, 1 or so. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, and so we have this nice motion and it's in the holes. Perfect. So the next step is, let's make a camera and a wall. Let's do the camera, so let's say something like this could look nice. Let's make a camera. I want here the portrait cameras. Okay. Something like that. The nice thing here is we can change here the cloner. So let's say I want this radial cloner that is, this is the cloner pulse. Let's say minus 150. So, but we have to change the cloner with the holes and this together. So I select this one and control select the other one here. So let's this cloner here, control select. And now I can select it, so make it minus 150. You see, the holes go with it. And then I say I want more, that's 40. We have the same with the holes. And that looks better, I think. How many did I use here in the original one? They are quite close together. This could be this one. Okay. Then the cameras, go to the coordinates here. I want 0, minus 10 or so. Here. And now I give the protection tag, but you are allowed to move in the Y, C, and in the pitch. So that I'm in the X-axis, always in the middle. This is what I want here. Okay, save. Now I need a wall. And for the wall, for this trick with the lights here, you see in the background, these lights. This is a very easy trick. This is just, and I'll show you the trick. This is just a displacement in the background. Let's make the wall. The wall is a cylinder, but a bigger cylinder, of course, you can imagine. So let's make the cylinder bigger, something like that. And we need more. We don't need caps on this cylinder. Whoops. Bye-bye. Don't want to see the camera. So then I need just a slice. I need just a half of this cylinder. Now you see we have this half here. And I want, let's say, that. I don't need any height segments here. And we can make this higher so that it covers everything. Yes. And the fun thing is, we can make it, maybe we can make it smaller. This we can change whenever we want. So, and the thing here is I put a displacer under the cylinder. So I hold my shift key, displacer, and drag it down. So this is the wall. And in the displacer, I use noise. Boing. And this noise can, because we don't have any height subdivisions, it can go just in the Y direction. But if you have for any reason, some height segments, we can do this later. So we can go here to the thing. So let's go to texture, should be fine. And when we want it just in the Y direction, we can go here in the Y direction, set it to 0. And now you see we have the noise just in the Y direction. And when we hit play, so go to the animation speed 2.5, and I have 8 seconds time frame. So here 200 frames, 8 seconds. Okay. And when you hit play, we should see in the background it moves. So that's for sure. Let's go to, but I want it, of course, because let's go to world here. bigger, so something like that. Maybe give it more displacement. Yeah, and I put this whole thing in the subdivision surface, or we can just give it segments so that it looks smoother. Can go so that looks now really smooth. Okay, save it. And that's it. In my original file, I made the floor with the volume builder. So I made the same here, but I put an torus on each one of these, and then I melt all together in the volume builder. You see, so you get these small, uh, higher things here. But so far, so good. Now let's texture this. So here I have my node editor. With Shift F2, we go to the material manager. And what did I use here? I think for the material on the poles I used. First of all, I bring in my Nikomedias Scene Rig for to lighten the scene. So I don't need here any floor or background because I do everything by myself. The HDRI I used in the original one is one of the new HDRIs I created with stable diffusion. And these are these ones, the patrons can download it on the Patreon site. And you have here in the stable diffusion, you have some abstract things here. See, so these guys here. There will come more, but this is the first abstract thing. They will get very crazy lighting or HR Geiger. And these are all panorama 360-degree pictures, HDRIs. So not really HDRIs, they are 32 bits. They are very good for lighting, but a real HDRI they are more photos or more pictures mixed together with different settings and then so they are not really HDRI, but they work very nice for lighting. And you can rotate in 360 degrees, and you have it. And here's this some really crazy things here. So, but what I used in the original one, I think was this one here. So bring it in, and I work here with ACES. So it looks not bad. But I think I have to go brighter, but okay for now. So we need some material for the poles. Let me think, I used, yeah, the materials packs you will find on Patreon as well. So I have here the octane metal. I think I used iron cast or something like this. Yeah, this one. Bring it inside here, and I want it on my poles. Clone up, we're going to sweep here. Make it cubic mapping, and let's see how it looks. Yeah, here we don't see the reflection. Here you see the background HDRI. So as I said, it's a 360 degrees thing. But let's go closer to here. We have not enough brightness to see here some lightning. Because, as I said, I'm working with the ACs when I go to the normal. So I have to make it then in the normal. So I would have to go here, settings. We have to deactivate here, but this is the ACES thing. You will find on how you activate the ACES thing in Octane. You will find very good tutorials on YouTube. So okay, but let's go to here and make it just bright here. Yeah, and now we see some nice reflections in here. Okay. The same thing I could use on the floor. The iron cast. Let's see. Let's go to this is the floor. Whoops. But let's copy this one and name this floor. And let's see now. Iron cast 1, okay. And here I want the floor on it. And in the floor thing, I want to change something. So let's go to here. Maybe I want in the transform, I want this whole thing a little bigger. So let's go to 3. Do I need the? I think it looks better without the normal. Okay. Good so far. Let's. Okay, then we need something for the wall. Not on the wall. We can make maybe the same one. Or no, I will make another one for the wall. So one is wall. And in this one, I don't want to have anything of them. Or let's try it simply. So same again, cubic. Don't forget to save. You already see this light streaks more than less. Okay, it looks very dark at the moment because we don't have the light inside, so the moving lights. The next thing for this iron cast I want on this guys as well here. Let's make a subdivision or here on the remesher. Okay, but not on the cylinder. The cylinder will be a glass material. Okay. I don't want to have here. Don't want to have material here in the viewport. So with NQ I can deactivate the materials. So we need a glass material. It's very simple glass material. Create specular. Don't have to do more. We'll bring it on the cylinder here. So that should, yeah, we have glass. But what I want a little thickness on the cylinders so that we have thin wall here. Because now this has no thickness and the glass has a little thickness. So let's go to the cylinder here and I again use this thickness here. So this with 0.1 because we made 0.2 smaller the spheres. So 0.1 should, and I want it in the inside. Whoops. So that's all. So I can bring this thick. Yeah, that looks like a really nice glass here. Let's make the spheres a little rounder. Okay, and the spheres get a very bright light here. So let's make for the light a simple diffuse material. Light But in the glass material here, let's first the glass material here. What I want is specular is okay, but I want this guy here. And here the same. Okay, and here I need only emissions. So black body emission, texture with an RGB light, RGB spectrum, and something like an orange or so. Okay. Okay, make this. So bring it on our spheres here. And let's see what we get. Whoop. Okay, this is far too bright for them in the moment, I think. Now I bring in the camera, I bring in a OCTANE camera deck. Go to the image and in the exposure, make the exposure. Here I want on the wall. I don't, on the floor I don't want a metallic, so I go to disable metallic. Yeah, that looks much better. Let's see how this looks when we deactivate on the wall the metallic as well. Let's go out this. And I make here float texture with sharpness. Yeah. Nice. What? But this one, of course, we are now on 200 samples. This is very, very low settings. But even this would be okay when we use later in the noiser, you will see. So this is now too bright for me. That looks nice. And in the post-processing, of course, we need some bloom. So, okay. You see this trainers with the 200 sample is nothing, but when we now go to the camera imager and we activate the noiser here, you will see even 200 samples will do the trick here. Of course, you should take here, let's say, 500 samples or something else. But even with 200, and you see in 5 seconds, okay, here I use a 4090, and but it should render quite quick, so yeah, that's all. But you have to play, of course, you have to play with the settings, because I sure played here, I don't know, for at least an hour to get this rendering, so to get the settings for the lights and everything. But you see, it doesn't matter with these two spheres, it even looks good, because at the end it will make that. I like it, I really like it. So you can now. I think we are done here. And of course, in the background, you will have the moving light here because of the displacer on the wall. And stop it. Yep. Okay. I would say we can be happy. Maybe the floor is too shiny, so let's go to the floor and make the roughness. We could multiply it with the float, but we can use only a float as well. Yeah, maybe it's enough. We do it with only a float. So, yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. So as I said, the Patron on Patreon you can download the original file. With that, then you have exactly the settings from here. And if really needed, I will make a physical render file with this, but as I said, this will not be very nice, I think. And yeah, what's more? Yeah, if your patrons can download then this toggle subdivision script here, so that it disables or enables all the subdivisions in the scene. And patrons can download the chamfer guy here, so the spline chamfer, this one here, what we used here to make this. And we can still, so let's go out of this, check, go closer. We are still here and we can still change this, you see. And this is, of course, a nice thing to have. And this works with all splines. So when you put a spline and under the spline, the chamfer, it will chamfer every vertex. So every vertex. I will work a little more on this so that we can make it with point selections and everything. But at the moment, I have not so much time, and at the moment I will try to bring more tutorials so that we are back in business. So business as usual. Okay. So I hope you like this one. If you have questions, requests, complaints, please write me in the comments or on our Facebook group or on my Facebook site, on my website, or write me an email and. Yeah, you will find everything you need in the description. And if you want to support me on Patreon, the link is in the description as well. If you just want to donate, maybe, so you'll find a PayPal link for donations. If you say, maybe buy Nico a coffee or an Uso or whatever, you can do so. For Uso, you can do so. Yeah, the next tutorial will now come, not in 2 weeks or so, so it will come more often now again. Good. Okay, that's it so far. Nothing more to say here. I wish you all the best here from Austria, Vienna, and yeah, tschüss und baba.